where should Michael Pittman be ranked amongst the wide receivers in the NFL? Should he be top 10, top 15, top 20? Do you guys think that he should be ranked very high, or you think, where people typically rank him in, I say it's around 18 to maybe 30, maybe 28. I've seen 28, I've seen 18. So, is Michael Pittman, where does he land within all these guys? You look at all the elite guys. You look at Adams, you look at Kupp, you look at Diggs, you look at all of those guys that are just out of this world. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. I would even throw Adam Thielen in there still. I think Adam Thielen is still an elite receiver when healthy. He's struggled to stay healthy, but where does Michael Pittman rank amongst these guys? Michael Pittman, I would say I would rank above Amari Cooper. I would rank him above, maybe a T. Higgins. Maybe that's a little, that's actually a really damn good, battle right there. Pittman or T. Higgins. Both are big contested guys. Michael Pittman Jr. kind of reminds you of a Cortland Sutton. Yeah, I went to the NFL and, the player comparison of Cortland Sutton. And I agree. Big body guy has decent speed, could go up and make big catches. You really like a guy like that. A big body on in routes. He's a very good route runner. Very solid hands. This guy is consistent all around. So is in Cortland Sutton. Problem with Cortland Sutton is he struggles to stay healthy. So Pittman, I think top 20 is very fair for Pittman. You look through and you look at his first 2 years, he has almost 2,000 yards, but not exactly 2,000 yards receiving. Now, last year at 88 receptions, just over 1,000 yards, 124 targets, and 6 receiving touchdowns. So, even though, it's difficult to produce big numbers in an offense where it's very run-centric. It's difficult to produce as a receiver. It's difficult for a quarterback to get in rhythm. And then on top of that, when your quarterback is inconsistent, it's very difficult to put up big numbers, to put up solid numbers. Now, other receivers have done it. But Michael Pittman Jr. didn't really do that with Wentz. But at the same time, the volume in the pass game is very limited for how little they pass the ball. They ran the ball so much with JT. The wide receivers, tight ends, didn't really get a chance to get involved in the receiving game as much as you like. And it's difficult to get into a rhythm when you're running so much. It's very difficult to get into a rhythm. You're so used to get up and blocking so much as a receiver. So, Pittman, man, you want to see those touchdowns come up. You want to see those yards come up too. Pittman is highly regarded as Colts fans as a very good number one. I'd say he's a mid-tier maybe right now, in my opinion. Yeah, he's very talented. But I want to see production. I want to see his talent translate to production before I put him in the top 15 and the top 10. I'm not saying Pittman isn't capable of being a top 15, top 10 wide receiver. It's just that, within the top 15, heck, I'd say even top 20, it is very contested, and very difficult to rank amongst these guys. You got your Terry McLaurins. I think he's, kind of similar to Terry McLaurin, if you ask me. Both make some pretty insane catches. Both made big impacts on their teams with, not as coveted, not with the big name quarterback, now with the consistent quarterback at the helm. Now, Michael Pittman has Matt Ryan, a veteran. I'm really excited to see a veteran be able to anticipate, throw him open, not just throw deep balls half the game, half the year. Because to be honest with you, I've seen a lot of 50-50 balls between Michael Pittman Jr. and DBs, and that's kind of what Carson Wentz is. He is very aggressive, but sometimes he just throws it for the heck of it, and he doesn't really have a logical reason. He just doesn't have. What am I looking for? He just doesn't. He just throws it and says, "Oh, who cares what happens? Whatever happens, happens." And now Terry McLaurin has that. Now Terry McLaurin is going to make a lot of big plays with Wentz because as I just mentioned, Michael Pittman Jr. As Wentz threw it up a lot, Michael Pittman's seen a lot of production in the deep passing game. So I want to see Michael Pittman this year improve a little bit on. Route running is very good. Hands are very good. I want to see him show up more though. I want to see him keep on showing up in big time situations. 5 drops as well as you see down here. Your yards per reception are solid, but those drops, it's not the best. But you do look at his situation. Wentz did make it very difficult for him to catch a lot. Even though he's a big contested guy, it's not easy to do every play against some of the best in the world. They're in the NFL for a reason. Even though they may not be as talented as some of these other guys, they may not be as up there as much, but at the end of the day, they're in the NFL, and there's some pretty damn good players, pretty good athletes, and it's difficult to do it over and over again. Now, some receivers could, but Pittman just hasn't shown the ability to really take over a game yet, and that's what I want to see. He has a few times, in very small sample sizes, not a full game. I want to see him make. He did make a lot of big time plays in crunch time last year, but I want to see him to continue to do it. I want to see him to get more yards, more touchdowns, heck, maybe even more receptions. That is a solid amount of receptions, though. So, you guys let me know what you think. Where do you think Michael Pittman ranks? I'd say he's on the cusp of top 20. Now, I'm not saying that he's not talented. When you say that when someone is close to top 20, typical NFL, you think of 32. So you think, past 20, like 21, 22 isn't the greatest. But when you look at wide receivers and some position groups, that's actually quite solid, especially wide receiver. For how loaded the wide receivers are in the league right now, I'd say just about reaching 20 is very good. And I think he will be a top 15 maybe even this year, maybe top 20. I definitely think he'll be top 20 after this year. Top 15, I'd like to see it happen. Will it? Not sure. So where do you guys think Michael Pittman should be ranked? Thank you, Michael Pittman Jr. Thank you for tuning into the JDW Sports Talk Show, where we fans welcome. I hope that you did enjoy this video. This is it for me. This is JDW.